is just focusing on similarity, which we already talked about the difference between congruence and similarity. Congruence means two figures are exactly the same shape and size, versus if figures are similar to each other, they're proportionate. So we're going to start out with 8.1, solving linear proportions, meaning you'll just have an x. We'll get to ones where we have an x squared. But a proportion is as simple as saying a 1-to-2 ratio of something is the same as a 5-to-10 ratio. I've just scaled the numbers times 5. The other thing that's cool about a proportion is the cross products, meaning when I multiply the numbers that are diagonal, they should always equal each other. So 2 times 5 is 10, and 10 times 1 is 10. So cross products, meaning I multiply diagonally, always equal each other. So what that allows me to do is solve an equation. Now this one you could just kind of find the pattern. I see that 5 times 2, it's always multiplying or dividing something. 5 times 2 made 10, so this must be 3 times 2. Or I could think 10 divided by 2 made 5, so what divided by 2 makes 3? X should be 6. It also should be that 6/10 actually reduces into 3 over 5. So that's another way that you know they're the same. But let's say the numbers weren't so nice. I would want to take 3 times 10, which is 30, set equal to 5 times x, which is 5x, and then divide by 5. Okay, number 2, I did want to talk about what if you have a fraction with a negative. Now, I always float my negatives up, so really I would think of this as -3/5. You don't want to make your negative go with both numbers, because that would be actually a negative divided by a negative, which would mean the fraction was positive. So just float the negative with the 3. So I'm going to have -3 times x equals 5 times 15, which is 75, and 75 divided by -3 means x is -25. Or again, just look at it and say, okay, this was 3 times 5, so this needs to be a 5 times 5, but I knew that this fraction would have to be a negative so that they're exactly the same amount. All right, number 3 is not just an x in a single spot, so I have to cross multiply here. So I'm going to take 3 times x minus 1. You have to put the x minus 1 in parentheses. So it'll be a distributive property. Equals 2 times 4x plus 1. Put the 4x plus 1 in parentheses. Distribute your 3. So you get 3x minus 3, 3 times -1, equals 8x plus 2. Subtract your 3x. Subtract your 2. Divide by 5. So x is -1. And if you plug it in, it should work. 4 times -1 plus 1 over -1 minus 1. That would be -4 plus 1 is -3 over -2 is equal to 3 over 2. It's just a negative divided by negative, which becomes a positive. So you could always plug it in and check to see if it works.